What a magnificent day here at the Bend Motorsport Park. It's the final round of the Shannons Nationals for 2019 and cars on track now for a very special one-off Nationals event. Many categories don't have a series of events across the year. They'll have state-based racing, which is what all these cars on track. By the way, the Circuit XL Nationals race number 2 is what these cars are lining up for. I'm Darren Smith, right alongside me, lending us a hand for this race. A bit of subject matter expertise coming in with Nathan Green, a local South Australian, normally competitor Nathan, but jumping in the booth here this weekend.
Yeah, sitting this one out, not as fast as some of these guys. We've got the best of the best of the Circuit XL guys from around the country, so it's going to be great to watch some XL racing.
Well, you've jumped out from behind the wheel and now you realise that you're in the hot seat. We've got 8 laps of what is going to be fury here. I've seen these things in the Queensland Raceway. I've seen them at Sandown and at Phillip Island, but never seen them here at the Bend. And we've got Ben Grice, the Victorian, who came over here for a state round on the 14th of September and had a clean race weekend of first positions. He's doing a tremendous job behind motor racing here this weekend, and he is on pole position. Right alongside will be Cooper Webster. Then it's Joel Johnson, the Johnson Racing Autobarn outfit. Asher Johnson, the current South Australian champion, in there as well. Had a great run at Bathurst earlier on in the year. We cast our eyes back outside the 10 now. It's James Benford, Adam Bywater, another Victorian over, Mitchell McGarry, Jaden Wanzek, Jackson Faulkner, Michael Clemente. Keep your eye on that car and the 1-2 back. Andrew Hobby there as well. Aaron Oliver in the mix there as well. We go back to Oliver, Stafford, Panowich, Simpson, Scarf, Arnold, Webster. And we've got Morris, another Webster, Matheson, Heil, Chaseling and Zanetti. We're doing it for the Mishas Mechanical XL Circuit Racing Nationals. It's their second race. They had a race this morning as the sun came up, it seemed like, on the dawn, and got a mid-afternoon race there. The Mishas Mechanical crew, an Adelaide-based family workshop, we thank them very much for throwing their support behind this weekend of racing for the XL Nationals. And race number 2, and we are away. Webster gets a good start there as well. And Donaldson getting away there very nicely indeed as well. Has Gricey got away with his customary good start there from the Weekend Legends car. Up the inside goes the Autobarn car. And there's some yellow lights ablaze mid-pack there on the number 17 car there as well, letting everyone know it forward of him what's going on there as well. Everyone streaming into turn 1, 5 wide at some point, and it's around about now that a bit of caution just to get through these first couple of corners. We've got the 21 going wide there, tucks back in, a couple of little touches, couple of little lockups. Nathan, I've got to say, very impressed to get this big field of XLs first through the first 4 corners.
You can get through turn 1 5 abreast, and then through here they'll go 4 abreast back into the hairpin. It's a tricky one to judge. We've got the Benfords there on the outside, followed by his brother coming through. Once they get near each other, the gloves will be off. They're side by side going up the hill.
So it's Grice to Webster, Asher Johnson, Joel Johnson in the Autobarn car. Let's have a bit of a look-see. Cam Wilson's coming through.
His teammates are attending there.
Yeah, so they're watching out the Slideways team out of the Gold Coast. Currently sitting there, Harvey and Wilson, 127 and 125 in 6 and 7 on the road. There's the number 83, the PFD Food Services entry out of Victoria there as well. Lake Boss car.
Yeah, the Benford brothers, they'll be running close, line astern, and not far behind of his Clemente.
Now, the Benford brothers come with a bit of a reputation. They like to throw everyone else out, and they both play in the cot together, don't they?
Yeah, the gloves are off. Both a lot of dirt circuit experience. They're side by side here, and Bywater's just behind them. Clemente, who works well with these guys, will be looking to come through.
Bywater, a very regular Victorian State Series competitor. Always very nicely turned out car. And Ben Grice just holding on to a slender lead there. Back to the Check It Out racing car.
Yeah, he'll be working hard in the car 18 to stay in the toe of Webster in second there. The toe is really important in these cars with quite down on power with the breeze here today. Side by side going onto the start-finish straight there is not ideal. It will slow you down the straight, so we'll see these guys all bunch up.
Cam Wilson losing touch with not only his teammate, but two other cars going through on him there. That's Liam Gregrix in the 75. He's gone. And have a look at the dust coming out of the last corner. Going straight over to the kart track. 3 wide into turn 1, mid-pack there. A huge field of Circuit XLs. This one-off race meeting. In fact, this weekend down in Baskerville in Tasmania is the Improved Production Nationals, another category that has a one-off race meeting in every year to award the national title to. And this is what we're watching now here with the Circuit XLs. 7 laps remaining.
Cam Wilson's got a bit of a train there behind him. He's lost touch with the guys in front.
Gee, I tell you what, there was a couple of years ago we had the XL Nationals at Wakefield Park. There's the Morris car coming down the outside there. His dad will be very interested in his progress.
And Nash Morris having a go at the XLs.
And have a look at this. Wilson now high water in the 83 going around Greg Ricks. These two have got together at Sandown and Phillip Island before in the Victorian Series. Great to see so many cars coming from all over the country. Just goes to show people want to reach out and grab that Nationals title. Great way to get involved. And hey, look, this weekend it's part of the Shannons Nationals.
Yeah, it's great to be on the big stage here, but the gloves are off. The PBs have been had by many of the competitors. Lap record tumbled in the first race, so right back to 20th. It's been super close.
Daniel Oringo now, he's sitting back there in 4th place in the number 22. He's done the fastest lap of the race. Interesting coming out of P4 because it's been where the heat is. There he is right behind Asher Johnson, arguably South Australia's finest XL racer. Won the Panawich Trophy earlier on this year, did great things at Mount Panorama.
Danny Arago quite often the bridesmaid to Asher will be keeping close eye on his rear bumper there and trying to come through with him. And young Joel Johnson in the Autobahn car there just behind them, and he's done some cracking times this weekend. Managed to grab the lap record in this morning's race until it was jagged just at the end by the leader, Benjamin Grice. Ben
Grice, of course, we first met him at the Nationals in the High-Tech Oils Swift Series where he bought us bump drafting at Phillip Island. And then, of course, he had the Grice wash in saloon cars, 11 races in a row, taking out some of the greats of saloon car racing along the way. He really did an amazing job, doing a tremendous job in the Toyota 86s as well. So doing plenty of racing. As the 37 goes wide there, that's Webster. We'll lose a spot. In fact, we'll lose 2. Boy, you come unstuck for a couple of metres in XL racing and you go back 2-3 spots.
Definitely Asher and then Arago managed to come through on Webster, and then he's just got caught out on the high side. You can see how the cars lift the wheel there as they go into the hairpin. Always trying to get the cars to release and be quite angry at the rear to get them to turn. Cam Wilson sitting back there.
This is where it's the action starting to happen, isn't it? We're just starting to get an eye on where Michael Clemente is. He's sitting there in 13th, car number 1, defending Nationals champion.
He'll be wanting to be up with this group, but he hasn't quite progressed as far as he would have liked. I think he's still having a big battle there with the Benford brothers.
Now, Nathan, we were just discussing earlier on today, Michael was off the back of the grid as a result of doing VCE exams back home in Melbourne on Friday, so didn't even get to the qualifying session.
That's right. A lot of young drivers in here, great stepping stone in motorsport, but their youth sport is still very important. But also we see a lot of gentleman drivers, or maybe some not so gentleman drivers like Cam Wilson that just love going racing. So we have a good mix in this category.
Certainly a good place to get plenty of racing. Just about every state series across the country now runs a race, 4XL, sometimes 2. I know at Sandown in the 2018 series there was 2 races because I think there was 80 cars entered.
No, definitely, and we see Cam here. He's actually line astern with his teammates, so that'll be a ding-dong battle with Harvey there. No love lost, I'm sure. Cam's going to tuck in and see if he can get the draft.
3 laps completed for the Missions Mechanical XL Nationals here at the Bend Motorsport Park. Ben Grice comes across the line. A little bit of a rear lock-up there, bit of bias problem there for the Hind Transport car. Here's the teammate swapping position. The slideway carts. Car of Cam Wilson goes through on Harvey. And then now it's Hindle right in the mix there as well in the Sim Ford outfit.
As soon as you lose one position, you might lose another position to the Victorian there. So it's a big state of origin. A couple of Queenslanders here, followed by 2 Victorians. And as we see Bywater there, just at the back of this pack, he's one of the fastest Vics, and he'll be looking to get back up the front.
This turn 6 here, it's got like an acre of bitumen there. You can run just about any line you want to. It's just a matter of keeping the revs up, keeping the momentum in these front-wheel drive cars.
It's all about momentum in these cars, being low on power and front-wheel drive, and amazingly, traction is a huge issue getting out of the corner.
This part of the track here is what a lot of the drivers were making comments they liked, that 10, 11, 12. A bit more difficult up at 13, but certainly this part of the track is a really good flowing part. As long as your car's as good at changing direction through there, you'll be right.
Car has to be well set up so that you can hold it flat through there. And then as you come up here, we've got the blind right-hander at 13. You just want to get a little lift or a little bit of brake and then flat out before you can even see the exit of the corner.
Maybe right foot flat, a little bit of left foot braking just to settle it. Maybe that's the difference between the faster ones and the ones back down through the field.
So Andrew Hobby just got a spot on Bywater there. He also came from the rear of grid from a technical issue in race 1, so he'll be looking to come through.
Clemente watch now sees him in position number 12, so I guess Nathan probably not as fast to push back through this top part of the field, which is probably a bit quicker than charging through from the back.
No, he's lost touch with this pack, so I think he's going to struggle to make up the ground.
Just in the back of shot there, the high-tech oils car.
I think he's got caught up in his own battle. It looks like Asher and Erigo here in second and third are resuming a battle that they've been having for 3 or 4 years in Circuit Excel. So Erigo's just pulled out of the toe there. We'll see that if he's got enough momentum. Both really good drivers will give each other space through here. And Asher's conceded to that one and he'll follow him through.
So progressive grids, you don't want to be taken out in one of these earlier races. You want to be able to keep going, and the aim is to start the race tomorrow afternoon as far up the grid as you possibly can. Demand the position.
Progressive grids this weekend with the points of all of the races determining your starting position for the winner takes all final tomorrow afternoon, which will also be live streamed.
About 3:15 tomorrow afternoon, we'll see the result for the Circuit XL Nationals.
But Johnson there's on the back of Webster. Johnson's found some great pace. He'd be 14, 15, young guy, just joined the series this year. He's doing a stellar job. Webster's one of the fastest Victorians again. That's a super quick car, super quick combination. You see those guys holding it flat through that sweeper.
It's great to see West End Mazda on board with him too there. Victorian coming on board.
Be good to see XNE Clutch on the Erigo car. That's actually a brand new car. They just did a shakedown at last week's state round, didn't actually race it, so this is its first race meeting, and I think Erigo will be very happy with that car. Okay, this is a favourite spot of Ash's. He told me, turn 13 going up the hill, thought he'd stick his nose in there, but Erigo's wised up to it. Maybe you heard me talking to them on the live stream earlier. Back with Webster and
There's
Johnson.
nothing to say you can't have a radio in the car and do it through the FM transmitter, is there? Absolutely not. Ash will be listening in. Certainly friends and family around the track listening in, enjoying this display. Let's have a quick look at half race distance, how the field is going. We'll run down just very quickly. The 66 of Ben Grice leads the way to Erigo. 18 of Johnson, the 37 of Webster. Johnson in the 5, Cam Wilson in the 125, Harvey in the 127, Hobby. Gregorix is 9th, 10th. On the road is Hobby at the moment. 11th Bywater, Michael Clemente in 12. Benford and Benford. We'll try and work out which one's which, but at the moment we're not getting a screen we need to be able to see here. So it's J versus T, then it's Wozniak, McGarry outside of the 20, and 27th is Simpson and Simpson. Brock Giblin down there in 29th. Go back to the 16th, McGarry, Carpenter, Kerwood, Scarf, as we have 5 abreast across the straight. We'll go down to Emma Francesco and pit lane.
Yeah, just down in TCR land, checking with James Moffat, who firstly is sick. Please maintain a safe distance. But finished 9th in that race, but this doesn't look very healthy.
No, we've got a bit going on, probably more than we'd like, if I'm honest. But as you can see, I've got the best crew in pit lane, so they'll get it sorted for me for tomorrow.
Hey, 2019 has been fun. Have you had fun?
I have. It's a bit crazy to think that it's almost over, actually, but it's been a lot of fun. TCR Australia, obviously, inaugural season, so to be involved and back with the GRM crew, driving the Renault Megane's been a lot of fun.
What a great place to wrap up the championship too, at the Ben Motorsport Park. The sun's shining for us finally.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a bit different to when we were here in July. So yeah, fantastic facility. Obviously, everybody in the motor racing industry in this country is very lucky to have a facility like this. So thanks to the Shannons to invest like they have, and hopefully we can put on a great show of racing tomorrow and finish TCR off with in good style.
Hope yourself and your car gets better for tomorrow. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. As long as I get better, that's all right.
Harvey from Queensland leading this pack here with the Victorians sitting behind him, and here's Clemente still stuck with the Benfords. I think they've lost touch with the pack that's walked away from them. And we've got McGarry and Wanzek, great friends but great rivals in the paddock. They've been working together to get the draft this weekend. We're back to this battle pack. Gretrix in the retro looking yellow and green car there, looks fantastic. And then Bywater in the PFD Foods car. A couple of the front-running Victorians trying to get on the back of this Queenslander.
Well, this is just inside the top 10, so we haven't had to go too far past the lead pack to find the next battle pack. Hindle trying to send it down the outside there. In fact, they're all trying to send it at the moment. This is a good run. We had them 2 by 2 through turns 1, 2 and 3 on the previous lap, but this is a real display of Circuit XL racing, and I keep referring to Circuit XL because there's the Rally Series of XLs as well, which is hugely strong around the State Series as well.
And you can see these guys have formed a nice train coming down the straight.
There's more XLs being used in motorsport than on the road these days.
Oh, just about. There's a few more left that we use.
Have a look at this. Have a look at the jockeying for position down into turn 1.
You do need to decide which train you want to board when they split up halfway down the track like that. Sometimes you board the right train, sometimes you go the wrong direction.
It's like anything, isn't it?
Gretrix has gone the wrong way and Bywater's picked up a spot there. He's right on Harvey.
Well, we're watching Gretrix and Bywater. They were sort of entrenched in the mid part of the 10. They're now just outside the 10. Have a look at Clemente now in the High-Tech Oils #1, still down there in 12th place.
He's lost the spot to Tom Benford there, so Tom's seriously on the pace.
Boxing on there. I'll quote my fellow commentator Nathan Green right alongside. Gloves off with the Benford guys. Don't come after me after the race. Around.
Harvey's here still holding position with the Victorians right behind him.
I tell you what, these XLs have acquitted themselves beautifully with 2 laps left in this one. It's a real fine display of racing. There has been a time where we've seen a fair bit of biff and barge in this category, but all of these cars have to get to that 3:15 final race start for the weekend tomorrow. And at the moment, it's all about, really, it's jockeying for a grid position, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. So, Ashes there will be racing a sensible race. I'm not sure if he's just going to slot in behind Erigo there and take what he can get. Webster and Johnson are having a ding-dong battle here. There's a couple of indicators hanging out there. They're probably the largest consumable. We consider them a consumable in this category, the indicators.
Indicators and wing mirrors, I guess.
Yeah, wing mirrors, we don't worry about them too much. We don't use them.
Like it. So Ben Grice has a 3.5 second lead in this race 2 to Erigo and Asher Johnson in that bright day-glow orange car there.
Well, Erigo so used a bit too much of the road there. That's going to slow him down. So Asher will be eyes down, listening to the radio with Simon Wills, ex-supercar driver, in his ear.
I tell you what, and Gold Star winner, that's a good get.
No, definitely. We're always trying to get Willsy back into one of these cars. I will in a couple of years, I reckon. Well, Grice has gone in a bit hard there, but had a little bit of a lock-up. Asher's right on the back of Erigo. Cam Wilson's back, and we've got Andrew Hobby there, who's been coming through the field. Qualified second, had a small technical infringement, but is pushing through the field.
Cam Wilson's pushing through nicely. In fact, he's up to P6. doing a strong job. He's jockeying for that grid position to get through that race, the first race tomorrow morning. So finding himself just easing his way back up through the field. Clemente has only just made it into 11th place. Liam Gregoric's a fellow Victorian in front. And in fact, it looks like Bywater's gone through.
Yeah, I think the battle between Gregoric's and Bywater has actually slowed them down and has played into Clemente's hands, so it's closed up the gap there. But Clemente has pulled off some ripper race finishes earlier this year at the Bend, uses all the track. So we'll see what he does here, see if he can pull off something spectacular to get it over the line.
Magnificent facility here at Bend Bonus Sport Park. This fantastic field, huge field. Benford there in the 42 now. Coming up.
Going for those fast right-handers right on Harvey. You're looking to get a smooth run through the chicane and then get the run up.
Number 75 there of Gregoric's Rayline Motorsport Services. Still not an answer for Ben Grice out in front. No one really throwing down except for Daniel Errigo, a 122.45. Ben, a 122.46. You can't get any closer than that. And then 22.7 to Johnson, 22.9. Back to Hobby, 22.9 there as well. Pretty much the rest of the field in the 23s and 24s until we get outside the top 10. Motoring Legends
There's cracking
Australia,
pace.
and there is the checkered flag. The checkered flag has dropped on race number 2 for the weekend for the 2019 XL Nationals, and Ben Grice has taken that victory. That's 2 from 2 from Ben, really setting himself up.
Like Tom Bedford's just got that position off Harvey on the last couple of corners.
So they're all streaming across, getting the checkered flag there, Nathan.
And Clemente hasn't made it as far up the field as he would have liked. He's finished 12th, 11th there. He's going to be pushing hard to try and get back on the podium and see if he can defend that number 1 on the car.
So cars still streaming across the line. There's our winner. Motoring Legends of Australia, Ben Grice takes the second win for the weekend. Daniel Errigo to Asher Johnson in the Check It Out Racing. Cooper Webster for Whitey L. Stone. Joel Johnson there for Autobarn. Andrew Hobby in the Rouse Motors outfit. Cameron Wilson, Zenith Racing Solutions. Aaron Hindle. Liam Gregoric's in the Raceline Motorsport Raceway. Adam Bywater for PFD Food Surface. Michael Clemente gets through there and in 11th. So watching him come from the rear of the field as the start of today. Thomas Benford, Ian Harvey, as we look back down to Benford, McGarry, Carpenter, Faulkner, and that rounds out our 20.